Hello, this is Dan Lesniak, the founder of the Orange Line Living Team and the broker at Optime Realty, which is also home to the Carrie Scholl team. In today's Ask the Real Estate Agent segment, I'm going to deal with a question that I've gotten from both buyers and sellers, and it's a question that is very common because our area has low inventory. So the question is, how do you price a home when there's not a recent sale or comparable that's similar? How do you price it? And this can apply if you're a buyer and you want to know, if a home is fairly priced and you're paying, good value that a bank would support. Or this can apply if you're a seller and trying to figure out what price should you list your home for, because you don't want to overprice your home because that can cost you time and money. At the same time, if you underpriced it tremendously, you might also leave money on the table. So this challenge typically occurs in properties where there are low turnover. As a whole, our area has low turnover, but it's even more applicable when it's in a more niche-y part of the market. So this could be your higher end condos, your custom build homes, larger condos, or just any property that is just really unique or that haven't been recent sales. So there's three different kind of approaches you could take that I'll talk about. Two that I recommend, one that I don't. The first one is you could hire an appraiser. This is kind of a common question that sellers have. Should I hire an appraiser before I list my home? I usually would advise against that, just because appraisers are kind of stuck in this backwards approach that they take, whereas a real estate agent is looking more forward, has their finger on the pulse of their market a little bit more. But you could hire an appraiser to give you a value of your home before you list it. Now, your potential buyers aren't going to necessarily care about that. If they're getting a loan, their bank's going to require their own appraisal, so they're not going to use yours anyway. Ultimately, price is going to be determined by supply and demand. So although that is one method, it's not one I would advise. I typically use a combination of the next two examples I'm going to give you. The second way to price homes where there's low turnover is to find out what are other alternatives that a buyer might have. So if you're looking at a large 2-bedroom in a really high-end luxury building and there haven't been any other sales in that building in the last year, just ask yourself, well, if I was a buyer considering that, what other high-end places in this area would I consider? So maybe there's 2 other buildings and a townhome that could potentially be alternatives. So I would look at those, right? If there's been some recent sales there, that's a great way. And you can kind of apply, plus minus, what characteristics are good that this one has, that this one didn't, and come up with a number that way. Another number is to just go back further in time. So chances are, if there hasn't been a sale in the last year, there's certainly been one in the last 2, 3, 4 years, whatever. So look at your subject property, go back to the last sale, or even when that one sold, right? And let's say it happened to be 3 years ago. Well, I would just then apply kind of the growth rate that you've seen over that time of properties in the area. So if the last sale in that building or of that type of home or of that actual home was 3 years ago, find out what that price is, find out what the rate of growth is over time. So let's say it's 3% a year, apply that growth rate and see what that does to the number. So I would either use those last 2 methods, what other alternatives does the buyer have method, or going back to the last sale and using a parallel analysis. So if you have any other questions about this topic or any others that you'd like to hear about, please call or email us. We'd love to help you out. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.